Okay. I'm just making sure that I'm live everywhere where I need to be live. Guys, if there's any sound problems from YouTube or TikTok, please let me know. Please let me know. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Mokwena. I'm your host, and this, of course, is a place where we love South African football. We love African football. Every now and then we go overseas, but the season is about to start up. So the show is on every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, unless, like yesterday, I cannot attend, in which you'll see it on my statuses. Then, of course, if Chiefs, Pirates, Mamelodi, Sundowns, Banyana, or Bafana are in action, you can catch me here live for a watch-along. We're going to be watching Asante Kotoko versus Kaizer Chiefs tomorrow in the Toyota Cup here live. And, of course, remember that this is a very important show because it's all about you. You guys are able to jump in and tell me exactly what you guys are thinking about whatever it is. The show is built so that we can speak to each other. And you do that by pressing the multi-guest button at the bottom of your screen here on TikTok, where you've got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. You click on it, I let you in, and we have a really great discussion now. We're going to do two things. We're going to do... We're going to do two things tonight. Tonight we're going to be speaking about our teams. The first big question that I'm going to ask is a very simple one. If you were in charge of your team, what changes would you make and how would you be running that team? Because, of course, we're going to be coming into the start of the season. There are many transfers, structural questions that we have. And then, of course, we'll end off the show speaking a little bit about Banyana, who unfortunately got knocked out by Nigeria. Obviously, I wasn't here over the past 2 days in order for us to do a review. But I do want us to just speak briefly about that. But we're going to start off with the basic question. What would you change at your club? That's the game today. The game today is that you are in charge of the club. You get to decide everything that you'd like to change, people you'd like to sign, the things you'd like to do differently at your club. And I'm going to give you the chance to be an owner and come in and actually run the club. Tell me what you guys are thinking. So feel free to request, and then I can let you in, and let's have a conversation about what we would do differently at our club. So I'll start. I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, for those who don't know. And I think that at Kaizer Chiefs, I would love to see an overhaul of structure. And what I mean by overhaul of structure, I mean that I'd love to see an external person coming in, or people coming in with views that maybe come from outside Naturena, to come and objectively look at the club and objectively make decisions about where the club is going to go. I'd love to see people who have ran modern versions of clubs coming in, so that we can build on the incredible structure. So that we can build on the incredible structure that has been, and the foundation that has been laid by Avontate Kaizer. But remember, if you want a request, you have to be following me in order for you to be able to tell me what you are thinking. Please remember, when you come in, mute a man. How it works is that there's going to be 5 people given 5 minutes in each of my panels. There are going to be 4 panels tonight, and you're going to get 5 minutes. Please try and give me 2 minutes of what you're thinking, and then, of course, we can do 3 minutes where I may or may not ask you a question, ask you about what you've said. So I'm going to start off with Champ. Bongs, how are you?
Yes, Champ.
Lekai, Champ.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, my brother. I can hear you perfectly. Bongs.
Sharp, Champ.
Bongs, very simply, today's topic is very simple.
Yeah.
You look at your club and you tell me, what would you be doing different at your club?
Yeah, number one, Gagopa Kaizer Junior Jessica to just sell their shares to someone who can run the club better, because I'm not happy with what they are doing. They'd rather have to sit on the sidelines and let some other people do the job for them, because right now I'm not happy with the signings we made.
What do you think Rashota Kankari signing?
Say that again?
I'm asking you, Rashota Kang, Rashota Kang, what do you think they got wrong in the transfer window, and who would you have gotten in? What you would have done differently?
Okay, seems like I have a problem with my line. Can you just take me out and put me back again?
Okay, I'm going to do that, but I just want to find out in the comments, please can you tell me, what are you guys, can you guys hear me, number one? Let me go to Waya. Waya, welcome to the show, how are you?
Hey, go Grand Buddha, kunjani?
Ngimnandi man. Waya, masicale lana ufavani and ungachintshana eklabhini yakho.
Yeah, likhosi. Almost 40 years in the final team. Management bro, okokuqala nje change SD is not supposed to be there. He doesn't know what he's doing. Jessica is dazzling us with nothing. He's very sweet with the mouth, but beautiful, but he's just giving us into engekho bra. So he can remain as a brand manager, but SD must leave. And then look at the options of selling his shares perhaps and bring in billionaires to the club, because the game has changed now. Most teams are treating teams as pets, you know.
Yeah.
Your Motsepe is treating his son is treating Sundowns like a pet yakhe, yabona. Chelsea, if you look at the Chelsea, Todd Boehly is making us happy as a Chelsea supporters, treating as a Chelsea like a pet yakhe. So the game has evolved. Kaizer Chiefs, if Kaizer Chiefs doesn't have enough money, they need to release some of their shares and bring in abantu who have money. We have just missed out on Pasadena once more. It's embarrassing.
Okay, I'm going to do that, but I just want to find out in the comments. Yeah, but oh, Tyler.
Yeah. As I was saying, we've missed out on Pasadena once more, as it was the case with Police. We're missing out on signing guys that are supposed to be at Kaizer Chiefs, which is something foreign. We've never seen such a thing at Kaizer Chiefs. I remember at one point we bought shoes Moshe with 250,000. We broke all the records at the time. We were signing equality. And you must know one thing. Kaizer Chiefs became a household name by acquiring its services of equality players and playing beautiful football. That's how Kaizer Chiefs became a household name. So what makes you think now, by signing these unknowns, Kaizer Chiefs will remain at the same level that it was at? It's impossible. It's not going to happen. So they are feeding us into engekho bra. So they have lost the direction. So even in Nedbank, we were happy, but I was quick to say, both feet must quickly land on the ground. SARS, we won in Nedbank, but what is the next step? So it's painful, man, bro. It's painful.
Can I ask, do you think that it's a case of which they have to sell Amashes Wabo, or is it a case that maybe they can step back and maybe be board members, then Baletabantu that they hire to do these jobs? Or is it an attitude, man, overall?
I think it's both, because I don't think they are really able to run the club where SD is not supposed to be there. At the same time, if you look at the amount of money that is being spent now in football, it really tells you that something has to be done in terms of management and in a mali esinayo nje. Hence, I'm saying maybe we release some of his shares could help, because both for me will do. Clubs now are spending a lot of money in football, a lot. And if those that are not spending, you have questions, but I don't want to talk about that because it's a controversial issue. Players, I don't want to go there. Yeah. It's a very controversial issue. But one thing for sure, even in football now, I've just made an example about Todd Boehly and how they are running, and how Ibrahimovic was running Chelsea, and how Motsepe is running. And if you look at the North African teams, with that oil they have up there. So there's a lot of money involved. But with the money that we have, which is also a good money if you look at it, we are not willing to use it. Listen, yes, it might not be there with the mines and oil, but still we are very stingy, Yeah.
Can I ask something? Masi spend a mali. What is the goal? Is the goal the league? Is it the Champions League? And do you think that Chiefs has been a club that has been able to go out and win those things?
I think you are answering it yourself. Goal should be Champions League. Look at the Sundowns. They were now. World Cup, bruh. So doors are open now. We are not living in the 80s and 90s now where we were sanctioned as the South Africans. So the Champions League is out there. Super Cup is out there. Now the World Cup is there. So what do you want to play for? In Nedbank? Calling Black Label?
Yes, the reason why I ask is there a little bit of delusion, man, lagi timakosi uti. We think that our club should be there, but if we're telling the truth, the club has never been there. So, for example, Sundowns winning the league makes sense because Bana 15, right? PSL era, Bana 15. Tina, we only have 4 league titles in the PSL era. Is it not a stretch, man, too far, this thing is Sifunai from club weight?
How can it be a stretch, bruh? Paris was there last year. They babuya semis. It's Paris when last year they win the league. 2011, 2012. When was that?
2012.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, it's a long time ago. We are even better. But babuya Champions League, and they were solid. If you look at them, and even the way they go about doing their business, they are also solid. I don't want to talk about them. So Tina, we are not doing this into right, J. Are we not doing Cabanga Prayam? Flavio, who's that guy? Flavio from Indonesia. What
Flavio
is that league? There's Cheese Led. Who's Cheese Led? From which league? With team that was struggling, we got our nails peeled last season. Our kneecaps were peeled last season. So, as a club, we box up from the left to the right. We should have said, okay, now we're going all out. Just like what we did when we last won the league. We went all out to get left back. That season, at least that season we showed about the intent. It was clear. And for 3 seasons we did well. For 3 solid seasons in a row we did well. Okay. Now after that it was siyehla. If you hire a coach or right, you don't support him with the players. So every time Kaizer Chiefs, so that's my sense with the Kaizer Chiefs. I'm seriously not.
No, I was just saying for time, I'm going to jump in just for time. Guys, remember, feel free to request, bottom of your screen, multi-guest. The topic today is very simple. I am going to make you in charge of your club. What changes do you want to see different to what has been done before? While for time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Tyler. Tyler, welcome. How are you?
Hey, OT, I'm good. How is you?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Go at it. Just remind everybody which team you're representing and what changes you would make, if any.
I support Kaizer Chiefs and OT, even though over a couple of seasons they've been disappointing. Look now, they are sitting in 2 consecutive seasons. They're sitting outside top 8. Which tells you, about the way the team has been run, the decisions they've been making, because whatever decision they make from the top, it trickles down to the field. So I think the problem starts there when I OT in understanding. I think we once had this topic, understanding your identity as a team. And then from that identity you build from there as the game progresses and as the game requires more from you as a manager and as a team, because the game, I think, like, the game is leaving Kaizer Chiefs and it's leaving the management as well. I think I support the previous speaker who said that I think they need to, step aside a bit and allow professional people that have the know-how to run team and make decisions. Even if they serve Bona as a board, I support that statement. I think the biggest, you can have money, but if your scouting department is not up to scratch, OT, you're about to, recruit wrong players, players that do not fit. Tina, we know the Chiefs that we know. We supported this team because we understand how, or how it plays, or what we expect from it.
Yeah.
And over time, we have not been getting that. And
So just for time's sake, I want to jump in and ask you, what identity would you be looking for? So I put you into power tomorrow. Where would you move the club to? What would you like to see on the field? What would you like to see in the structures?
In terms of the play, we're now OT, more, advancing team, a ball-playing team, more dominating team, which also requires the personnel you have to have a little bit of zest in their abilities. When you walk into the tunnel, when you play Sundowns, when you walk into the tunnel, you already know, and you are a Magesi, you know already, hey, here, we're either going to get a 2-1 or a 1-0. That type of, we want it achieved like that. Achieves, it used to be like that during the Chabalala eras and the Luteroniana eras. Which when you play these guys, these guys are advanced, also, they need to also have ambitions as players themselves. They must see themselves playing for Bafana. They must aspire for more for what they are doing on the league, So that requires also psychologists to come in, and be part of that process, set objectives for your team. And what happens if you guys don't reach those objectives? I saw a video last year of Rivero, who was sitting with players, and they were like in a camp where they had to set goals for themselves as players. We need that, and there must be repercussions as to if they don't reach those goals. So you need a more structured Chiefs or an OT that make better informed decision that requires that are informed by what the game requires. You cannot be going out and scouting players that we have bought now. We're still going to be subjected to the same position even this season. What they've bought and what I've watched during the off season, it's embarrassing.
I wanted to ask you, are Chiefs fans lying to themselves as to where the club has been and where the club can go and how big that gap is? Because, I've heard people say that Chiefs now this season needs to finish third. Is that gap from 9th to 3rd with Confed, with all of that stuff, is it reasonable to expect that? Or are we just, again, maybe not being truthful about where we are and where the club has been before?
We're fooling ourselves, OT. We don't want to face the reality. We don't want to face the facts. What the Chiefs has drastically dropped as a team. And that boils down to decisions they've made. Kaizer Jr. was an ordinary ordinary player when he was playing, and he's making ordinary decisions even now in management. So he must just step aside, you occupy another role, give someone with knowledge of football and good scouters, and build a philosophy of the team. This is how we want to play as Chiefs, and we stick to that, and you build from there. because you don't even know what is it they're trying to do on our team. You don't know. It's so frustrating. And we're still going to be subjected to that. The fact that Nabi is still there tells you about the targets they've set for themselves as a team, how they take themselves as a team. You know, and Sundowns,
Nuta Lungster.
if that coach at Sundowns doesn't win Champions League, if he doesn't win cups this season, he's gone. Simple as that. And that's the standard we must set for ourselves as a team. If a player doesn't do well in the team, you must be called. You're not doing well. We're paying you this much. We brought you here to bring this because we've scouted you there. This is how you were playing. What is going on? You know, the team must be called and it must be reprimanded, guys. We cannot be subjected to this season again. And unfortunately, with the type of players they brought in, I don't see them making it to the top 3, even to the top 6. They are going back to, position 10 now.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. I want to bring in Butlali Nsizwa. Welcome.
Hola, Utsi.
No, Butlali, very simple. I'm putting you in charge of Kaizer Chiefs. I know that's where you are going. What are your moves as El Presidente when you get there?
Whitewash, Utsi. It's time for a whitewash, Utsi. The problem is, Utsi, we've become too much of a brand and less of a football club, Utsi. And I think that became the downfall of the team because it came to a point where Kaizer Jr. was doing more media work than actually running the team as a technical director, Utsi. And when your technical director is saying a lot of stuff on the media, I go say, they like that's a trigger warning. The team is going backwards. When we have our technical director doing media interviews left, right, and center, I'm like, dog, what are we doing here? Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, I can point out so many things wrong about the structure of the club. I mean, and I find it hilarious how it's almost majority of Chiefs fans. There's one common. We identify one common problem, and that's the lack of identity, lack of structure, and lack of overall philosophy of the club. It lacks that. The only thing that you can put in Chiefs' name is the brand. They've created a big, brilliant brand. And no one can fault that. But I feel like the top management, I mean the we're not ruthless as a big team. We're not ruthless enough in the transfer market, for the budget that we allegedly have. We're not being ruthless in the windows, and we're not being ruthless in the types of players that we want, because we just sign anyone that's trending. If we're a trender, we find you. Even if you're not trending, you're playing in Indonesian league, some league from Aki to where countries I've never heard of before, man. And yes, you're signing them to to the PSL, which for them is a big jump. I mean, if you're going outside, it shouldn't be. It should be a step down actually. So yeah, and
what's the mandate for Chiefs, Butlali? What's the mandate? Because I feel like we talk a big game about Kaizer Chiefs, but are we being realistic with what we expect from the club, especially over the 9 years? You could even argue in terms of the league across the PSL era. Have we been the club that we think we are when we say we are going back, or is it about being honest and saying we need to go there? And that's two different. That's two different challenges.
I think it's a bit arrogant to say that we were never. We were always better than 10th, other than the last 2 years, 9th, 10th. So
Yeah.
I feel like we can get back to a spot where we were doing in the Arthur Zwane days. But in terms of getting back to the old Chiefs, I've always said that it's gonna take a 3 to 5 years of a whitewash at top level management, and that's a thing that I never think will happen, because as Bobby notoriously said, it's a family business, you know. So I think I don't think that will happen anytime soon. But if we get someone that a technical director that actually understands football, a technical director that wants to develop an identity, develop a philosophy, and make appointments according to that philosophy, and actually build a foundation, because now we're building a house on no foundation. It's gonna break down somehow. Right?
But I want to ask you, Mutale, is it okay? Is this meant to be scrapping time for Kaizer Chiefs? And what I mean by scrapping time is, look, man, as a sushi, it's not the best ingredients, but you need to fight now to get to a certain point. Then you go from there and you then add on the stuff, because it sounds to me like we want to jump straight from, wheat bix to caviar.
Yes, OT, we are trying to do a Sundowns job, and we are Richards Bay team. OT, it's like Richards Bay trying to do what Sundowns is doing, and as I said, there's no foundation, so we have to scrap all the expectations from the fans, which is gonna be very hard to do. But scrap all the expectations. We are not a top 3 team. It's very arrogant to say we're a top 3 team. We're not a top 3. We're not even close. OT, Skukune, even Amazulu, Stellenbosch, they're all ahead of us. OT, those teams are ahead of us. OT, we are friends with Richards Bay, friends with Makezi. OT, and we realize that actually progression is just realizing that. OT, yes, we have a big band, but progression is just realizing, okay, we're a mid-table team, the PSL. How can we make steps? And obviously, with all the advantages that a big brand like Chiefs has, all the resources they have, they have probably the best facilities in probably, I don't want to say Africa, but up there in Africa, right? So with all the resources that Chiefs has, how can we make steps into getting into that top 5, top 3, and that you have to realize that no, we're gonna have to eat bread and litombolo and pap for a very long time, pap cabbage straight, to get to that spot where we can eat our sushi, our caviar, your wagyu steaks, and stuff like that. And if you don't get through that phase of eating pap, hey, mfethu, you're gonna keep living in this fantasy of eating sushi, and you're dreaming of it. You're never eating it. You're just dreaming of it. So we need to get through that phase, man. Raw cabbage, and get through that phase and those building blocks. It's all about the building blocks. And I think if a good 3 to 5 years of that, I think will be maybe a constant team in Africa. Just a good 3 to 5 years of that. Not next season. It's impossible.
Now, for time, I want to jump in. We're going to go back to the 5 minutes per person, because we had a slow start with people joining. I want to ask the people in the comments, the Kaizer Chiefs fans in the comments, are we delusional as Kaizer Chiefs fans in saying that Kaizer Chiefs needs to go back to glory? And are you honest about that glory? Same with Pirates, because the glory was a lot more based on the cups. Nedbank, Nedbank, Telkom, SAA, for the older guys. That's the glory. It's not the league and the Champions League that hasn't been in the makeup. So is one of the problems at Kaizer Chiefs that we think that we are going back to the level of Sundowns, let's say. But the truth is that we were never at the level of Sundowns consistently enough, even before. And maybe that's the mindset shift that needs to happen. That guys, asibuyeli somewhere, si akela pambili. But guys, today, the topic is very simple. The topic is, Any club, whether you are Amazulu, whether you are Chippa United, tell me what you would do if I put you in charge of your club and I said, you know what, tomorrow you have carte blanche, you are chairman, you are the final word. What changes would you make to your club immediately, and what are you trying to go do? So we're going to start now. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, guys, get straight to your point. 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. Just allow me to be able to talk to you a little bit, and please can we respect the time so that everybody can get a chance. 5 panelists are going to come in each round. We've got 3 more rounds to go of this, so 15 more people will be able to come in and speak, starting with Oriki. Ricky, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Ricky, firstly, what team do you want to speak of, and what changes would you make at that team?
Kwesi. Yeah. I think with our team, we just need to work on our consistency. And this means, firstly, with the players, scouting, choosing quality, and also selecting a good structure. It's important. So one thing I've seen that we are not selecting the good players for the team. I'm not sure with the new ones now. We are 50-50 with the signings. So if we can work on that, also when we can also work on having a good structure. Chiefs is a big team. It comes with pressure. Can we get players that can be able to absorb that, and also not allow, because there's a lot of critiques, there's a lot of fans that come with the team, so that's expected to happen. So even though with us fans, we try our best to give the best critiques without hitting the players, but again, we also need to work on that. They put a lot of effort in marketing, and also it's a good thing. Yes, they want to sell, but again, we need to make sure that we choose. We remember the goal is what we do on the pitch, and that's the one that will make sales. With the t-shirts as well, it's the same thing. They made more sales with the t-shirts because they saw a much better team. So we're hoping this year we can be the beginning of consistency. More consistent when if it comes to winning, let it be consistent. Even when we go through a draw, we see that, okay, at least maybe it's the ref who didn't ref alongside with us. Maybe it's a Robbie in a way, but we need to work on the consistency with the team, because that's the biggest issue. We're always changing, and we always listen to outside voices a lot that make an issue. With signings, it's the same thing. Like Lepasa now is a free agent. It's going to be a big talk. And then it can easily just get signed, but did we look at the profile of the player? Will he be able to provide what we need? And that's what I think we need to work on.
Would fans be happy with an ugly 5-year plan? So you take Sundowns, for example, when they brought in Pitso, they were close to relegation. Pitso comes in, rescues that season. People don't like it because he's playing ugly football. He wins it the following year. Do you think that Chiefs fans are ready to have that type of season where it's ugly and it's honestly not beautiful? We're just trying to win. Do we have the patience as fans to be able to do that type of thing?
I'm not sure if we do have the patience or not, but I think it would be good for us. To be honest, it would be good for us because we also need results. We also need results. We don't want to be staying on the bottom of the league, of the log. We also want to go higher. Like, we need to have higher expectations, like Club World Cup, and be consistent on the CAF, because that's what Pirates has been doing also. That's what Sundowns has been doing, and it's also bettering their game also when it comes to the league. So that's why we need to just be honest and understand that sometimes in order for us to be consistent, we just need to play ugly football and get the results and win. And that's what we need. It's not a matter of what we prefer. That we're looking at the players playing very nice football, but we're losing. Yeah.
For the last 30 seconds, 2 signings that you would have made.
2 signings I would make. Sure. I would have taken Shalulile as a striker.
Yeah.
He has been in the PSL for some time. He knows he's a good player. Yeah. And who else? Mbule I would have signed also. Yeah.
Okay. For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring loose test. Tembi, so welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, welcome, gents. Hi, gents. How are you? Ulti, how's it, man?
I'm good, my brother. You've got 5 minutes, but tell me, what club are you representing and what are the changes you'd make if Ksasa need to wopet it up?
Abafana bokuthula noxolo.
Yeah.
It's a hard one and a tough, pill to swallow. But family aside, definitely I would go in there and tell the family, guys, go step aside. You'll enjoy the dividends. Let me run the team and make sure that we go back to our glory days. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging.
Okay.
Then players have to play for their contract, not play for themselves. Also, I will have to look into the contracts of our players. Most of our players over there, they lack basics. It's very sad. I would bring in the guys from the DDC. The current ones that I do have, 80% or 90% of them, I would let them go. We have the funds, so I would let them go.
Okay.
With that comes my structure. I'll bring in our legends, to bring in that identity so that we'll be able to go out there, scout players throughout the country and hopefully the continent as well, and bring in those players who would rebuild the brand or the club, actually, because the brand, it's there, nothing to rebuild for the brand. Rebuild the club, the culture, bring in smiles to the people's face, the people who are buying my merchandise, our merchandise. That's the only department that's working at Kaizer Chiefs. It's the marketing department and the merchandising. That's what I would do.
So tell me now, if we zoom in, let's say, what type of football would you want your Chiefs to play?
The type of football that basically, for starters, it's to play position football, but we need to have players who are comfortable in playing that type of football. With the current squad that I do have, I do not see anyone who's comfortable on the ball. So I wouldn't want to lie. Like, you could look at Mashiane. The only player that I so wish, he never had any accident is Wiseman. That boy. I believe if we had that boy, probably we wouldn't be in this mess that much in our midfield. Yeah. So there's a deep surgery that needs to be done. So players buying all their contracts off, letting them go, and rebuilding. Bring the boys from the DDC. Those boys can play. Those boys are hungry.
So I want to ask you, when we talk about our glory days, if were our glory days that good? If we're being honest.
For me, and when I speak to most of the fans out there, soccer fans, like your Pirates fans and all them, I do tell them that for me, Kaizer Chiefs died after the season of 2006, 2007. From there up until now, it has been one hell of a ride. Sorry, my language. It has been one hell of a ride. Like we have players who are legends that we could look up to, to talk to these boys. Sabonga Nkosi, Jablan Mendu, Paul Nganya. You understand? But they're not utilizing those legends. And as for my current technical director, the first member of the panel, he stated what I was telling people: ordinary player and an ordinary technical director who's more of a media personnel.
Okay. Guys, please tap the screen. Tembi, so thank you so much for joining. I want to bring in Blue Buffalo Baby. Welcome. Soba.
What's good, bro?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Tell me which team you have come in to speak on and what do you change at that team. You've got 5 minutes.
I'm speaking on Ipakani Yamfuetu, ne?
Yeah.
So for me, we haven't done bad. We've done good, but good is not good enough if you're talking in terms of what's at stake these days. Yeah, well. So what I would do, if you look at Sundowns, for example, it's the talk of the town for now.
Yeah.
Sundowns has not always been this Sundowns that we see now. But if you look at where the change came, it came when Mr. Motsepe stepped in. Because even in the glory days of Sundowns, when Abot, Natasha were in the helm, it was not as dominant as we're seeing now.
Okay.
I would want to have a sort of sponsor that's got like money, like when I'm talking. I understand we've got like about Adidas and all that. A sponsor maybe who's worth the billions, where we can buy whatever player we want.
Yeah.
But if that fails, I would like our player, because when we judge based on the previous season, Pirates proved that you could still achieve a lot with the little that you have, right? So the only thing that was missing for me, I'd say, it was the killer instinct. That killer mentality, and also the ability to choose which games not to lose. I mean, I remember when we lost the league in Cape Town, because for me that's where we lost the league.
Yeah.
When you don't take serious these matches, So the mentality of the players, that's what I would change. For example, a striker. We cannot have a striker that plays for about, let's say, 10 games, and this guy has not even been able to score. Maybe set a target of saying, as a striker, 5 games or 7 games, you should be at least achieving this amount of goals. Have incentives that motivate these players, that if you do achieve that threshold, that this is what you will. You know what I mean? I sort of feel like that we do have good strikers, but there's a level of comfort that these guys have that makes it like, I don't know, it doesn't make them do what we think they can do. I mean, you look at Makgopa, for example. Before he came to Paris, this guy was doing wonders. But somehow now you don't see that. I understand the whole narrative of a team like Orlando Pirates is big, but you're still having all the resources at hand that can push you where you want to be. You know what I mean? So the mentality should be that you are here to work, bruh. Like, this is a business, We understand that a Sundowns has got a backing of that much more money, but that's not what wins you games. Mentality. Also, I would beef the technical team. For example, I look at the American football. I might be wrong. Someone might correct me on this, but when I look at that, because I think we should also look into other sports, whether it's American football, whether it's rugby. How are these things ran? If you look at American football, for example, I think you're supposed to have like a coach for the strikers, a coach for the midfield, a coach for the defenders. And these coaches are not like the main coaches, but these are people who will teach these guys a certain level of, I mean, if you take a legend like Andre Sabola, for example, let him train the strikers, the Gavin Lanes of the world. These guys have been there. The they've won the stuff for us, How do we utilize Abolukas Khatebe in our modern game? If Safa doesn't utilize them in teams, This whole thing of getting people who don't know I also feel like it kind of kills the culture of how we used to play and stuff, you know. So those are some of the things that I would look into in terms of sort of getting us. Because if I look at Paris right now and I look at Sundowns, there isn't a lot of difference. The only difference is the mentality,
Yeah.
you know.
But I want to ask you, but for the last 30 seconds, just for the last 30 seconds, is Pirates a team that is able to deal with the scrutiny that will come with making some of those moves? Because that's a lot of noise and expectations will be high. Will Pirates be able to deal with that?
I think it's all about what you want to achieve.
Okay.
If you want to achieve big, it doesn't matter what pressure. I mean, look at, for example, I'm sorry for taking some time, but I remember when
very quickly.
the late
Brasted.
Mkonza, Mkonza, the journalist who used to play for Kaizer Chiefs. Usimpiwe Mkonza once said, if Bafana qualify for World Cup, what are they qualifying for? Are they going there to add numbers, or are they going there to? So if Pirates is there, are we just there to add numbers, or are we there to win?
I have to jump in there. And bring in Umpopo. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Sure.
Paul, can you hear me? Okay, let's go to Prachomo. Prachomo, can you hear me?
Sure, OT.
Oh, there we go, Mpo. Poza.
Yes, I can hear you, OT.
I know, I think Mpo's back. Mpoza, you're in charge of your team. Tell me which team you're in charge of and tell me what changes you'd make.
Kilibagania, OT. I'm a Orlando Pirates fan. The only thing that I would change in my team is management is sometimes failing us. Management are failure sometimes because I feel like they take decisions off their minds and not at the interest of the team.
Okay.
Last season, I felt like we lost the league with the issue of Saleh. We started losing the league there. And that was already in December. So even now, as much as I'm happy for the departure of Motaung CAF, I feel like he would have stayed like for one more season. Because now you're putting in a Muremi into deep end. You're putting in a Napolis into the deep end. It's pressure. It's pressure. And secondly, we don't have champions in the dressing room.
Okay.
We only have Umbule and we only have Uhoto, which have to carry all of the weight. Which I think it's sort of like a downfall because like when we started winning the league in 2010-2011 season, we had like a bunch of winners in the dressing room, which makes a difference. So yeah, I think the management is sometimes falling short. You can't play good football for like 3 seasons in a row and not win a league. The league is very important at this stage, and I think the coach. I just hope the coach wins the MTN 8 so that the fans can be fully behind him. Because if he loses the MTN 8, I don't see the fans being patient enough.
I'm glad Paris fans are coming in. Does Paris have a legacy of doing this? I mean, the last time who in Walikiki got double treble, if I'm not mistaken. Does Pirates know how to win the league and win the league consistently? Are we not asking these teams to do something that they're not used to themselves?
I think Pirates knows how to win the league if the management is not in control of who's starting and who's not starting.
Allegedly.
I think that's my
allegedly, Poza.
But they do, man. You can see in some games.
Allegedly. Hey.
allegedly they're doing that. But I think we have seen in some interviews like players even saying, like Koguta Abo Praski, my head Abo Pras Prima Shawalala had a hand in some of the decisions that were made in the backroom stuff. So yeah, man.
Does that change? Does that change now that Abo Praskrima Beko? Do you think
It
Pirates?
doesn't change. It doesn't change because Floyd is back at the helm. Well, Floyd Mbele is back, so he's gonna be doing the very same thing. Oh, I don't think. I think it's a traditional thing that they've been doing, and I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon. The reason Rudy Kroll went, it's because of that. They were trying to control him, and he wasn't falling for that. And I think Nakunjana, and I think the Jose Rivera was suffering under the same thing too. That
Yeah.
they wanted to discipline Usaleng and he wanted Saleng on the field. But we'll see Sunday what he has to say. Gui Giants, Nakunjana, Gui Giants episode, yeah.
Well, I can tell you that the silent conversation is going to be the second episode.
Yeah.
But anyway. Allegedly Floyd is back. Hey, everyone's.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Let me bring it. Prachobo, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Doti. How are you?
I'm good, Prachobo. I'm putting you in charge. Uchinchang.
Yeah. No, no. Now, first, but now I'll go for three. Three key VAR. I would wish to have one, as much as I know it won't happen.
Okay.
And then, but one key goalkeeper. We need a very solid goalkeeper with a character. Ahly, Havana character, don't know number.
Yeah.
You understand? And then number two, I would wish to help Lepasa. Lepasa's pace with how Chiefs plays, I think he can fit in very quickly. And then Kinana Togoloshi ele epaisisandi striker akaishola. Unal Togoloshi lets and the track and bedroom. I can't understand.
Are we still not making a mistake? Hunkari off cut man. The off cut Sabo Pirates, the off cut the team teddy.
Yeah, but I can check and go back on those players. Mostly are Chiefs players. You understand? Mostly are Chiefs players. And then it's a journey for them to come around by Toleko Chiefs. You understand that? And then I think I once explained the scouting process. It's along wrong, alluring those players they find themselves to teams stable in Koton. I understand instead of being Chiefs. Understand? But now I'm not complaining. Understand? Most of those players are quality. I mean, all the time, but we need quality. Quality within PSL and within these PSL teams because of experience. Players, they are the ones who are playing for PSL teams. You understand? So I can a problem. Yeah, players are already good. I mean. Okay, the player Lorin Kar Aki happy Kayona Erenkilengo Pirates is that short one. But that left back, I don't think Nereminida Hakalo Mako, yeah. But this other one, right back, I'm happy. You understand that? And then Lemfana Ole Abamunkilenko Supersport, I think Akakwala position ya Mart.
Okay.
One understand? Yeah. From there, Kinana recovered, and then now I'll keep them down. Scoufella. Those people are very passionate and dedicated. Only if people they're close enough to see and know how hard they work for the team. One understand?
Do you think that you need maybe you don't get rid of them, but maybe you need some passionate people that don't come from our football who can be objective too, because sometimes only kamahari.
And I tell you, those people they understand their team very well. Understand, and now this is what we should be looking at. Are the players complaining at treatment? Are the players not paid well? You understand? That's when they come in. You understand? There are no problems there. Hence, you find that people are blaming them for things that your strikers by Misadi go and then Timia Jiwa, the next thing you know, Kipobi. How? It doesn't make sense to me. You get what I mean? But no, the player, the holy, had the happy, had the treated the sharp, obviously, cannot be negative go around. You understand? Bonaveta show all those players are happy and make sure the situation is very conducive for them to play ball. Understand it. So that's when I fail to blame them.
Jwale, shouldn't we say that there is an admin function and now we need a footballing function? Because like I'm saying, I know we love Chiefs and we think of them as this huge club, but in terms of winning the league in this PSL era, going into the Champions League, doing those things, I don't know if we've ever done that or we've ever focused there. And maybe the things we are good at, maybe win the league, the cup, but if you really want to go for the league, do you have to change some things completely?
Mamela, if you go back, understand. We won one of those African tournaments. We played up to the final. We won.
Nelson Mandela King, Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah, it was the Dead Cup. One understand. We've been there before. One understand, and it had nothing to do with extra passing. Coach Charlie, the assistants are high. They knew what they were doing. One understand. And they had a good team. Players, they applied themselves very well. And then they always knew how to take one game at a time. Sometimes the players, they're saying we're going to take one game at a time, but they don't know how to do that. You understand? They can say it, but you can't sit in the game. You understand? You can see a player playing for next week. He's done.
Yeah.
You understand? The next game. You get what I mean? So those are the aspects that you need to cover them mentally. And coaches, today how's a coachally assistant? You get what I mean? And they shouldn't be failing.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah.
No, for time I'm gonna jump in, Pracho. For time I'm gonna jump in just for the next panel, Pracho.
No problem, sir. No problem.
Very interesting point there by Prachomo. But I want to bring in Umtakababa Veli.
Hey, bafa kunjani?
Ngimnandi man. Bengihlezi nabantu bakho izolo man, hey.
Bowumenyiwe.
Hey, bengihlezi nabantu bakho man.
Yamenywa kulamalanga seyintweni.
Ungakhuluma indaba zami man, mina bengidlula nje. Velile, uthini ke team yakho if ngingabakhipha bonke ngifake wena, ungashintshani lapha?
No, hayi. Ngiqale ngibingelele nabafowethu labo panel and ngibona ukuthi hayi ngiyabona neDurban City ithatha abantu abayihlobo badlalela iProfessional idlala iSpace football this season Durban City. That's your little bit this year. They cannot mix Gavin had no mazinho. I will be. And I had luck to Ulokunja. Obadela for being the first coach to be fired with PSL. And a goodbye to Orbit College. They'll never make it. They didn't sign anyone. They played playoffs. Goodbye.
Maraba khona bamsayinile. Khona umuntu bamsayinile.
Udluliselezo nje.
Hayi.
Kodwa athi baqala zenzeka ningathuki. No man. Hey, ngiyabona bekufees must fall lapha phezulu. This season kuzonyuka phela. Certain things will fall, yeah.
Mina bengazi ukuthi ngibeke bani so ngifake.
Hayi ngiyakubona impela mfake comrade. No man. Mina according to my own opinion, angicabanga ukuthi kumosheke kangaka uOrlando Pirates.
Yeah.
Because yes, we might have signed so many players, but the cost still remains. Singathuthi abahambile. He was the only person in Namkalela who was being part of the team, like seriously, a contender for most profile player. It was Umkota Pale.
Okay.
The other ones angengibabala. Umako angengibabala. Ngiyezwa bathi umonyane nomako nebathathe kithi anibatholanga kithi thina dala sabahambisa. Hayi nibathole lapha enibathole khona. Bebangasaholi, bebangana paycheck. So ningasifaki lapho ndifuna uma nihluleka yibo nithi nibaphiwe yithi nithole lapho nibathole khona kulesi khotheni lapho nibathole khona abenu manje. And bebangadlali, they were not part of the core team like last season. If we can take Umago no Monyan, the core still remain. China is still there. Otto is still there. The left back, right. Dano and Rena is still there. Back three. Besides those one who are injured, Klog is still there. CBC Mbogazi.
Sesane.
If Undawi Abuya Nai, then that's still the core. And then you go to the midfield. Makaola is still there. In with addition Gaga Sipondul, but he's still there. He's the core of the team. Tito is still there. Lamine is still there. Mufukeng Sasekon. The only talent of Sasekon and Jalona, yeah. My only concern is the striking department.
Okay.
Because we have seen even Nagu pre-season, Lama game, they've played 4 games and no one of them scored. Ne? All of them, they've played.
I don't think so, yeah.
And not even, I don't know whether I can say no one scored, but or maybe chances were created, but I didn't see anything from them actually. Uguti, they were trying, unless if maybe the system and the players will be different to the ones that will play in PSL. But Sabang is about PSL, maybe it's the quality of the teams that we're playing against them in terms of like defensive structures, but yeah, we will see. I'm only worried. I don't cry too much for Nango Zakel because he's been to Pirate for 6 or 7 years, and he's got 15 goals. 15. I got 20. I'm called to figure for the past 6 years. We are good.
For the last minute la nakufuna ukubuza ukuthi siyazikhohlisa masithi Chiefs ne Pirates man kumele babuyele le phezulu. Was it that high to begin with and was it consistent? Masifika lapho. Do we need to be honest at times?
Look. If it's about honest, and then people mustn't get hurt or my feelings of must not be hurt kangako. It will be difficult for them to get high because in this nowadays football, when it comes to football, money plays a bigger part. And I'm not saying that by just thanking up my finger and just talking. No, we've seen it. Whether you go to Egypt, Ahly is spending a lot of money, it's there. And Pyramids is spending a lot of money. You go to Morocco, Wydad, the other ones are spending a lot of money. You go to Europe. Manchester City came in and spent a lot of money and they achieved what they achieved. You go to Germany, same. Bayern is dominating in terms of transfer there. That's where they are. You go to Spain, Madrid, and Barcelona just doing it so bad. That's why I get to the mustn't lie. Money now it buys you that dominant and the upper philos. Because even previously, Chiefs and Pirates, they were not spending much, but they were spending much as compared to other teams.
Yeah.
So that's a fact. They had sponsors before. They were the one who were there in the market. They were getting every players that they want. That's why they were so dominant. But now, tables have turned. So yeah.
For time, I need to jump in for time.
Ejek, don't worry, man. Even without money, I've told you before. We have won
Skati.
Champions League. It's not our problem that biologically we're not.
Kicking it. Yeah, for time, kicking it. Ufuna ukustrike lana. Uphethwe amauna wenu manje. Kicking it. Welcome to the show.
Welcome bafo, ngiyabonga njani?
Man ngimnandi bafo. Ngitshele ungena ngeyiphi team and what are you changing if anything?
Ngiyidawana mina imamelodi Sundowns and I feel like it's ayikho transparent man. In terms of look, Sundowns have done everything to win on the pitch. They are the best team. No one can dispute that. But I feel like Kaizer and Pirates, they have Sundowns beat in terms of imida.
Okay.
You know, when I say transparency, I mean look at umdlalo njengo Abubakar Nasir.
Yeah.
Not sure whether it's Sundowns on its own. No, would say that's a player universally loved in terms of I'm a fan of Sundowns. You know, but as Lutonga, we don't know anything about him. What's going on? Situation yake. They have a pitch side podcast, but it's always surface level stuff. You know, they never bring him in. Ukuthi akhulume injury yake, my experiences yake. This guy has been here for like 4 or 5 years, maybe now. But I think came same season. No Allende. They played the first game together. You know? But we know nothing about the player. Like at this moment in time, we always have to ask, hey, Mopu Nasir. And also, as a brand, I feel like Sundowns here is stiflish. Like they're not doing it that big. Where are the Netflix documentaries? The team young 2016 that won the Champions League. Where are the next Netflix documentaries about E3 Young 98, 99, 2000? Individual documentaries, historical modise, specifically with Sundowns. There's so much Sundowns that could do to make it a global. No, besides global, like to make it a big team in Africa, not just in football terms. In football terms, Sundowns is up there, but I feel like they're not doing enough. You know, in terms of media, just being in your face. They're not in our face. I'm not sure whether I'm making sense.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And in terms of in terms of the players on its own, like Unasir what's this thing? My socials, it looks like. Look at the Kaizer Chiefs and the Pirates. The moment players go to those teams, it's almost like Kula following Yakon. And to sign a player like Unasir and keep him off all my social media and stuff like that, knowing who would see even as Ethiopia. I remember when he came in, Sundowns certainly had an influx of fans. I say Ethiopia, when you play Champions Leagues, Ethiopian fans would come just to watch Nasira Yetwa. Untapped potential. They just keep letting those things go. It doesn't make sense to me, you know, and Motsepe or someone needs to do something, because at the end of the day, at some point, Sundowns is gonna fall in terms of footballing. Like at some point, Sundowns are gonna stop winning maybe for a few more seasons, but the media and stuff, they'll still be up there. Like Kaizer Chiefs and the Pirates, they're not winning, but they are still in conversations of the best team, because the media they work so hard and stuff. That's my gripe with the Mamelodi Sundowns at this moment.
When you talk about media, how much does social media come into this? Because Chiefs and Pirates built their followings at a time where, you know, you could control a lot of the information, the people. Is it tougher for Sundowns to build that type of profile in this day and age where sonke siyakhuluma, I've got a show, corner my tweet, corner this, corner that?
It might be tougher, but try at least. Like let's want to try. You go Twitter, you see abantu, you see sometimes you see stories. I remember last year, like I keep making specifications about Nasir. I remember last year when Mangoba went to preseason, Sundowns fans kept asking, would say, oh, hey, Mopu Nasir, may keep it tombe, Lumto media, I keep it tombe zori, pero no banbani. So now I says what to get. And then one time, I think Motiba made a live video. Made a live video, a GC camera, Nangu Nasir there at the back.
Yeah.
That's how we had to find out who Nasir we preseason, but I don't know Ahly. I think he even played that game. But with social media account, people were crying. Nasir. I remember it was the number one thing in cool. But my say keep it Tombe keep ayo. No Nasir on the pitch. Most buza. Like I get it might be difficult, but try. Try. So right now Pirates they're about to release that documentary. Why are they releasing that documentary? Do they just want us to see Zagalan? No. They know it's going to gain numbers. It's going to gain numbers. abantu right now bafuna ukuyobona ukuthi kwenzakalani. Yabo. Do those
Okay.
things, try. We don't care ukuthi popularize. I mean, as a Sundowns fan, it doesn't matter to me, but try. Like, we'll let the people abangayazi idawana babone ukuthi kwenzakalani. Like it's a simple thing. Try.
Okay. For time, I'm gonna jump in, guys. Okay, let me see. I can let 2 people in. Then, guys, we're gonna be watching Banyana, so I just want to make sure that I've got everything right. Coming into that. So, guys, the topic is very simple. What would you change at your club if I gave you your club tomorrow and I said you are in charge of your club? What would you change? Let me bring in Nkosi. Nkosi, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Uti.
Tell me, jump straight in. Which club? What are you changing?
Oh, I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan.
Yeah.
I think we need to focus on our striking and goalkeeping departments, and and to add some competition in the bench. Because I think in the strikers department we just need someone who can score more goals and put them on target.
What would you change? Who would you bring in? Who would you have signed?
I'll bring the goalkeeper from Stellis, the first choice goalkeeper there.
Okay. Stevens, ne?
For the goal. Yes. And then for the strikers, I think Motizwa, I think.
Okay. Unox.
Yeah. And then Sabelo for the right wing, I think so. And then Itebe from TS Calix, left back. Yes, I'll bring those signings in there.
So tell me then, Kosi, why doesn't Chiefs sign these people? Why do you think that Chiefs doesn't take these players?
I think it's the matter of some teams need to survive with those players to make them competitive in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they make them expensive, ne?
Yes.
Mara Chiefs should be paying, man.
Yes.
If you want the player, you must pay, man.
I think also Motaung doesn't want to give more money, spend more money. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that Chiefs can win the league in the next 5 years?
If we can keep the coach and the coach improve his philosophy, I think so we can win in the next 5 years.
Mara, you've only won 4, Mar. Since 96. Is it possible still?
Yes, I think it's possible because Navi is a winning coach.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, Ngosi, thank you so much for joining me. I want to bring in Agent, my brother. I don't know if you want to play the role of Da Fleming or if you want to do something else. Welcome. What team and where are you going with this?
Shalom, my brother.
Shalom.
Yes, I know. I'll be talking as a Chiefs fan today.
Yeah, man.
No. conflict of interest, Mr. Usi. Mobile lebaring can, valamlum. So, so I must talk as a Chiefs fan today. But I think I need to be serious, can
This is gonna be interesting.
No, man. I think for me, what first thing that needs to be done is, I think, give the Motaungs what belongs to the Motaungs. You know, I think you have to give them executive roles, all of them. You know,
Okay.
We need to take them away from the sporting side of things. I think that's the first thing.
Okay.
Then we can put in people who are going to be measured on performance. You know. Those that know that, like I was saying, in the next 5 years, we're giving you the reins, give us the league. Failure to do so, you are out. You know, I think there is that. But I think more importantly, I think Kaizer needs to maybe consider selling non-controlling shares of Chiefs, you know,
Yeah.
so that they can boost in revenues. Basically, get their own sugar daddy, if we can put it that way.
Okay.
And then that person, like the Manchester United side, they are solely responsible for the footballing aspect. You know, hi guys, Mr. Motaung, honorary doctor. Yes, we must put it that way. But anyways, you see, guys, my trail of thought is leaving me. But anyways,
You were running away from one. We've walked into a different room now.
But yeah, I think that's the most important part, right? That they need their own sugar daddy. They cannot run the way they used to run, you know. So I think non-controlling stake like Manchester United, someone that own Redfield, do that, and also they should also put in what is it called? First refusal, you know, in case they want to sell those shares, in case they want to buy them back, you know. So I think that gives them a bad balance. I think the Kaizer Chiefs needs a massive injection from an outsider, who's not necessarily gonna care much for dividends, you know. So there is that, and then I think it's important for them to have a good scouting network, not a scouter, a good scouting network and a good scouting group, if we can put it that way, instead of just one Taramaliwa. What is he gonna do alone? You know, the inputs of others. So I think if they can set up a group, and then with the way they want to play, you know, I think I forgot to put, they have to identify a style of play. How do they want to play? And then set up a scouting network that the guys, we need a Katan in Zimbabwe, who has the best CDM in Zimbabwe right now. We have a full-time scout there. We have full-time scout in whatever the country is. So yeah, I think those are the few things that need to be managed, because I feel like off the field, they're very good. It's just on the field.
I want to ask you something. Do you think that we're fighting the wrong battle as Kaizer Chiefs? So when I say fighting the wrong battle, people are talking about leagues and Champions Leagues, right? Whereas maybe right now you're not calling for the tools that you need to do what you need now to get there. So, you know, chopsticks don't help you when you need to cut a steak. You know, and sometimes we want to do these complicated things instead of doing simple things. Do you think that that also is something that you need to be honest with?
In terms of what?
In terms of just in general. In terms of in general. Like going from number 9 to number 3 is a completely different battle from number 3 to number 1 is a completely different battle from number 1 to Africa. You know, it feels like Chiefs is gearing themselves to try to go from number 1 to Champions League. And maybe what's hurting us is that the tools don't match and the strategies don't match where you are right now, if that makes sense.
You know, I was actually talking with Kaizer Chiefs fans, I think a day or two back, And I was telling them that the main problem with Chiefs is they've been trying to short circuit the process and jump steps. Hence, I'm not so much gonna blame them for this transfer window where you take unknown players from England, Indonesia, whatever, because they've tried and tested. They've tried the superstars. So when you're getting those guys in, or you're allowing yourself, you're saying these guys are gonna need adaptation. These guys are gonna need to get used to the style of play. These guys are gonna do this. So what you're aiming for is not a top 3 finish; it's a top 8 finish. So I think Chiefs are trying that thing. Okay, let's move from 9 to top 8 position. Then from top 8 position, we can go to the top 3. So I think that they're on the right path, in my opinion. Even though they signed unknown players, if you can put it that way.
Okay. Let me bring in Motsepe.
But so as a parting shot, if I was Sundowns, I would get rid of Cardoso, bring in Rulani, get rid of Flamingberg, bring Pitso. I'm joking. Hey,
you're starting another fire. Why are you leaving us with fire? Your parting shots. You must be jailed for arson with those parting shots. Let me go to Motsepe. Pitso, welcome to the show. Hey!
Dumela hangwe tat.
Born.
Agent.
How? I like the matches abale.
Ya tseba ba ninga tshojwalo. Ya tseba ba ninga etsa jwalo. Otherwise, that uthi how you kiboka simo mothe mabruaka. Ki blomme mo 69 re shota ka wena man. Yeah, re shota ka wena khot manyaka.
Sekidula Pitori. Ke motako Pitori.
Santo khukele hai. Ntate agent wa tseba a ke batle ka ntate Khaduso.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel like I obvious. Yeah, you know, ngwana mme nah, ha ke shebile team ya rona ya Sundowns. I don't think there's a lot that we need to change, but I still feel we need probably maybe to beef up goalkeeper department, somebody that will be putting more pressure go Ntate Williams, because I think he's more comfortable there. And unnecessary. But I also think as well the striking force, we still need out and out an aggressive striker that will be somebody that o tshwanang le bontate Biliati ba leng ba feta ka mane ka Sundowns, somebody that ra tseba re ha tshwere bolo di striker go re di defenders bona di ba worried di panica. I think we still need somebody like that, Yes, tika yes is fine, but we need somebody that is more aggressive, because ke nahana hore a team e nngwe le nngwe e bapalang le rona Sundowns, they can predict. They can plan around certain players easily, So ke nahana ho no nka o change, but ha ke sheba boholo ba sehlopha I can needing ke be ka a change tse ngata haholo, and then re shebe hape le ko benching hore mo benching ha re beha dibapadi tsa rona hore re beha batho ba jwang ke batho ba leng hore mohlomong ba tla kgona hore ha se bapadi se itseng ha se ntshiwa o tla kgona hore a kene a kgone hore a cover the very same position ka tsela e leng hore Raipero can do it, So I think that it's something that we need more challenge, we need more competition, but other than that, I don't think there's anything that we still need to change. And I'm happy that Basadine is coming to our side, into our camp. I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of Sundowns. Happy and twengwe happy ne ke shebile e leng hore ke nahana re bohlokwa haholo, ke di supporters sa rona ha re feng our team a chance. Let's be there for them, let's unite, let's be really twelengwe re latelle sehlopha hantle ka tsela e lokileng, because di panel tsena tse ngata di khoza dintho tse ngata haholo, empa ha re rateng ditlhopha tsa rona bana beso ya ha ona ngata tse nke beng ka bua ho feta mo
mara ke batla go botsa hore ke mo Sundowns e batla Champions League empa e kare a le gone go jumpa monna le mo le stopang teng. How does Sundowns get past that thing? E shota kang hore e win a Champions League Sundowns?
Ke ka ho no ke ile ka re ho wena, you know, we need somebody that is more aggressive ka pele. One or two people ba leng hore they are very aggressive and they could be very fast, but ba leng hore ba tla kgona ho bona, you know, that they could foresee what they will do, you know. Ke nahana hore ha re ka fumana batho ba jwalo, because our goalkeeping department it's not that much strong, to be honest with you. Ha re sheba ntate Onyango o sa fitile dilemo tsa hae tsa 40 ho ya kwana. Ha re sheba ntate February he hasn't got that chance enough more than where we can say we are confident on him, you know. For now ra tseba hore ntate William Halemane we are sure, and remember that ntate o khona hape le ho bapala also as an extra player in the ground, because wa khona hore a etse di assist, wa khona le bua hape le defense ya hae a bone di karolo tse itseng tse leng mohlomong hore ba le bofokodi ho tsona. But other than him, ntate Onyango ha ke ni ra tseba hore le yena o na le you know a certain impact but other than those two, who else do we bring? Onyango o ka etsahala hore sa thola injury, and then what are we going to do? You know, I think we need somebody who can beef up the goalkeeping side, and the strikers. I think we need somebody more aggressive, the likes of Bo Futumba, the likes of Bo that one on a Twinya, who the troop train. We still need people like that, you know. Yeah, we are okay, but all other departments we are okay.
Thank you, Mtsepino.
Thank you so much.
Man, re tla pazuzu kaofela man.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys, I'm gonna close and end the live, but I'm gonna be back at 9 for the Banyana game. All I wanted to say, and unfortunately, sorry for Kumon, Tetelo, and Ray, guys. Banyana's playing at 9, so I'm just gonna come in and I just have to make some graphic changes. I think I want to speak about Chiefs just to end off and say that, you know, I've been thinking about this, and what I have figured out for me is that I think we're fighting a battle with tools that are not for the battle. I think we are fast forwarding and wanting to do Champions League things and look for quality and do all of that stuff, instead of realizing that we haven't been at that level for a very long time. And maybe right now, yes, you can have the most beautiful players, but the truth is that the people who are competing against Abu Makesi, it's going to be a lot of scrapping. And if we're patient enough, maybe you could scrap so that you can get back into the places where you can go. I always say, right now it's time for us boroto. Must eat bread, and you must boroto before you go to the sushis. So I think that's what's happening at Kaizer Chiefs. So right now, I think Nabi is an incredible coach for when you are there. I think Nabi is a great coach for that level we're trying to get to. I don't know if he's the guy that gets us to that level. You know, sometimes you need those guys, Gavin Hunt, to scrap. And then once you get there, you go, okay, fine, now we're here, we go there. Number one. But then number two, one of my other things is, guys, can we be honest? Chiefs and Pirates. Pirates at least has won the Champions League at some point. But in the PSL era, Chiefs and Pirates have not been consistent league winners. Look at Chiefs. Do you guys understand that all of our league titles within the PSL era are held by two coaches? I believe it's two coaches now. I believe it's Ted Dimitri and Stuart Baxter, if I'm not mistaken. It's four of them in the 30 years. So when we say we are returning back to glory, I think that's part of what I was speaking about, to say, no, you're not returning back to glory. Our glory was winning the cups. And to be fair, I want to be fair. The truth is that we didn't care about the Champions League. We didn't care about the league per se, right? We got banned because we said, no, we're not going to go. It wasn't a thing to aspire to. Myself included. I'm not going to lie here and say that I loved this thing. I loved the Champions League. I wanted to win it all my life. No, that's new, right? So maybe what we should do is to say, let's be honest and say, guys, we've never been a team that was built to go and do those things. We're built for the MTN8. We're built for the Nedbanks. Look at Pirates. There's a reason why Pirates wins these. There's a reason why Pirates wins those cups. That's what we were built for, because we were locally facing teams. And local facing, you just need to be on the front page. Cup. On the Pirates side, I've always said that Pirates it's mental. It's mental on two fronts. I always tell you guys that for me, Pirates is a very emotional team. And when Pirates is up, they'll go and win 4-5-0, or they'll put on a performance of the ages. But then when they're down, those are the games you need to go win. So you need players that understand, that aren't as emotional. What was nice about Abu CBC, Nabombogazi, is that they just seem to do the job. Like, they just do the job. Rain, shine, they just do the job. And maybe your forward players, you need some of those assassins that don't care what's happening. But it's a mental one. So mental on that front, that they're emotional. But also mental by the sense that I get the feeling that as a club, as a whole, guys, can you hear me? As a club, as a whole, you need to challenge yourself. And I feel as though Pirates has gotten so used to playing the normal team, so that if you reach too high and fail, we're not, burning things or going crazy. But sometimes you need to go, you know what, guys, now we need to put the pressure of certain signings. We need to put the pressure of certain coaches. We need to put on the pressure of certain officials and people to signal that you want to go and do this thing fully. Not half clutch, not 3 years, Jose. I'm a trophy, all right. You need to go out and show them. I spoke on it on 3-Man Press, that like some of the teams are set in their roles. That no, Pirates is the number 2 team. Sundowns is fighting for Champions League. You see it with the moves. But Pirates sort of is okay, just, touching and staying within touching distance and being there. Goes back to the question where I say, is Pirates the second best because they are that good? Or are they second best because they just so happen to be better than the rest? But now when you need to go and do those things consistently, can you do it? When you need to go win the number of games you need to go win to beat Sundowns, can you consistently, when you need the 1-0 ban, the Cape Town, can you do it? When you need the 1-0 in KZN, when Angazi, the players are not there, can you do it? So that's what they need to do. When it comes to Sundowns, I just feel like, big match temperament, man. You can't tell them anything about the league. You can't tell them anything about the Champions League, really, except for winning it. And I think what happens with Mamelodi Sundowns is that they're so used to being the big dogs that by the time they need to go play the big dogs, they start shaking and you wonder what's happening. When you watch that final with Pyramids, I'm watching Sundowns and I'm like, guys, now you have to stand up to the other Grootman. So maybe Libona, it's a mental thing, because they've been trying to do this thing. And maybe it's that they put too much into the Champions League and too much focus. Maybe they've gotten to the point where they're just overthinking it and they're trying to find some answers for things that don't need answers. And maybe that's the pattern. maybe they need to just play Sundowns football and just go, guys, come rain or shine, we're going to carry on doing that thing in the Champions League instead of trying to be too smart at times, which is a very tough thing to do. Yes, it's an obsession. When you're obsessed with something, straight, man. So maybe, look, extreme case, I would have said maybe Sundowns needs to get knocked out early and relax a little. But realistic case, I think mentally something needs to happen when they get to those later stages of the Champions League. But guys, thank you so much. But I'll be back at 9. I just need to get the graphics ready. Banyana's playing the third place playoff. So yeah, join me at 9 o'clock. I'll be back now. Bye everyone.